Hey guys, it's Matt Walk, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about more pre-modern stuff, more deck thingies, lots of deck thingies, more tournament thingies, so it should be pretty sweet. This one was for, I think this was the pre-modern online open monthly thing for July. Yeah, so this one's pretty sweet, pretty interesting, so let's get right into it. All right, so now we have a deck called Turtle Splash. Basically, just think of it as a gamekeeper deck, very similar to the one from Legacy from like 2005-ish, except with not the Bomberman combo, although it does have LED or whatever, based on looping Sappers and Bailiff and getting lots of mana with LED and Petal, and then using Animate Dead and Necromancy to bring these guys back, and then sacking them to Goblin Bombardment or Altar of Dementia to mill someone out or deal them infinite damage, that kind of stuff. Again, it's a little confusing, there's a lot of steps, but basically, yeah, get Gamekeeper in play, mill yourself a bunch to hit your Bailiff, use therapies in the graveyard to, like if you hit another Gamekeeper, you can just therapy yourself again, mill some more, and so on and so forth. It's a pretty interesting deck, obviously pretty soft to graveyard hate, or even something like Null Rod's actually pretty good too. But yeah, pretty interesting. I saw people talking about this on the Discord a little bit. Definitely pretty cool. I was looking for seeing if there was something to do with Gamekeeper, but I couldn't figure anything out, or at least still haven't yet. But this is definitely a pretty cool deck. So good stuff. All right, now we have basically an interesting Enchantress deck. So we still got all the Enchantress stuff, right? All the Enchantress things going on. But then we also have the Pandemonium Sapling Burst combo. We also have Oath of Druids, right? So you can oath up your Argothian Enchantress, and then that'll, of course, put a bunch of your stuff in your graveyard. And if you have a replenish, you can bring it all back and all that good stuff. So that's really sweet. So I kind of like this. This is definitely another really good use of the sort of oath kind of engine, right? And we'll see a lot of that in this deck digest, where we'll have interesting uses for Oath of Druid. So here we see Oath inserted into a shell of Enchantress, you know. And of course, it says Sanctum of Sarah. What it means is Sarah's Sanctum, of course. Just looks like it's just a typo there. But yeah, of course, it has Words of War, right? So like to just win the old-fashioned way with Enchantress. So definitely pretty interesting. I mean, I guess you can win with Sapperling Burst too, just the normal way as well, with just using it as like a beatdown thing, and then replenishing it back to beat down again if you need. So yeah, definitely pretty cool stuff. Really cool stuff in the sideboard. I mean, definitely big fan of this. Big fan of this. This is sweet. I like it. I like it quite a bit. All right, this is just a rock deck. Nothing too weird here. Same old stuff. We have Mesmeric Fiend to wish for, which is somewhat unorthodox, as well as Phyrexian Plague Lord, a little unorthodox as well. But other than that, like again, just a typical rock deck. Got some fatties, got some walls, got some birds, got some manlands, got some removal, got some discard, Deed, Nightmare, all that good stuff. Really typical stock sort of rock list, so nothing too weird here. Really good stuff. All right, now we have the sort of survival elves, right? It's the elves deck with survival. Definitely pretty sweet. The only thing weird here was I saw the use of Well-Wisher. I don't think that's exactly stock, so to speak. Either is Timberwatch Elf. These are kind of interesting. I'm not exactly how good they are, but hey, gaining a bunch of life is pretty sweet. And I guess Timberwatch will make one dude really big, which I guess is okay too. But yeah, this is just a survival deck. or an elf deck with survival jammed in with some, you know, tutor targets and stuff. Deck's doing pretty well very recently. You know, got Masscore, Kamal, things like that. Squee, of course, to continually discard to Masscore or Survival or whatever. And of course, the 1x crop rotation to tutor for the Gaia's Cradle. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, nothing weird here. Just typical elf stuff plus survival stuff. Anger, of course, is great for giving all your dudes haste. So that's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Although, does this... Well, this one doesn't have Goblin Sharpshooter. That seems like an oversight, but that's okay. Good stuff here. All right, so now we have balancing things. So yeah, this is, well, it's balancing things. I mean, nothing weird here. They're pretty much all going to look the same. These typical balancing team deck lists. Yeah, cast a bunch of stuff. Cast your Obliterate, exile your Brush Hopper or something, or float mana to cast your Terravore or something. I mean, same old stuff here. Definitely pretty sweet though. This deck's always kind of fun. Super cheap too. I guess the chants are kind of expensive a little bit, but yeah, this deck is pretty funny. I like it. Okay, so now we have, well, Solution, right? So this is just the Solution, which is basically the old Star Spangled Slaughter deck. Yeah, this is just blue, red, white, sort of mid-range aggro control thing. We got Mom and Exalted Angel and Lightning Angel and Meddling Mage and all sorts of good removal. Fire, Ice, Predict, then Bolt, Mana Leak, Swords, Memory Lapse, Portent, right? So another cantrip to sort of bring everything together. And of course, good sideboard stuff. Good sideboard stuff. Black Vice, nice one. That's a good. I mean, anyone that's running 4 Black Vice in their sideboard, that's you're getting a thumbs up for me. I'm a big Black Vice fan. Obviously, this is definitely made to beat up against like the blue control decks, right? Black Vice does punish those decks pretty hard. So yeah, sweet stuff here. All right, so now we have, well, it's Goblins. This is a typical Goblin list. Again, for the most part, not much to say here. Like I said, I've never liked Barbarian Ring. These the pre-modern, right, Goblin list, typically just not that good. Hearth Charm, again, something I've highlighted before. It's pretty interesting, although honestly, I think I'd just rather run bolts. Like, it'll kill everything, but it's a much better draw. It'll kill anything like right first turns to get your lackey through, but it's also a better draw like every other part of the game. So yeah, Hearth Charm is kind of cute, kind of neat, but yeah, I think I'd just rather play bolts. Again, sideboard, nothing new here. Again, just typical Goblin stuff. Although, yeah, I'm pretty sure not playing 4 Fnax definitely seems a little wonky, but hey, that's okay, no biggie. All right, again, what do we have here? We have another Balancing Teams deck, and same old stuff here. It's Balancing Teams, just like the one we looked at 2 seconds ago. Okay, and more Goblin stuff. This one, though, is Goblin Bidding, which is very specifically, well, it uses Patriarch's Bidding, right? And brings all your stuff back. Nothing weird here for the most part, although the Infinity lands, I think it's definitely 1 or 2 lands too many. 24 lands typically the sweet spot. I wouldn't mind cutting like a port in a city or something. But I mean, you do need, so you have 4 Mire, 4 Springs, 4 City, 12 plus a Swamp. I feel like I'd cut like a port at least, and then you're probably fine. Yeah, that's, yeah. Yeah, probably cut a port, because obviously you want a ton of black sources for bidding, and you really always want to cast it when you can cast it, right? Because it's such a game-breaking card, and that's what the deck is sort of designed to do. I mean, obviously it's just a regular Goblin deck with bidding, but it's very good with. Yeah, I'd probably cut a port for like another Prospector, because you can just do crazy stuff. Yeah, yeah. But otherwise, yeah, pretty interesting deck. Nothing weird in the sideboard. Who doesn't like casting Patriarch's Bidding? Okay, and now we just have a pink prison list. Nothing weird here. I think this is actually super duper stock. So yeah, pink prison, yeah, prison deck, land tax, Zern Orb, all that kind of good stuff. Mox Diamonds, yeah, prison elements, devastating dreams is sweet. Gaia's Blessing, definitely sweet card. Black Vice, obviously Black Vice is very sweet. All this prison stuff, definitely a big fan, of course. Um, yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Although I think the Armageddons in the sideboard, I'm not sure those are um, standard stock, I should say, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Okay, now we have a learn, and this is, well, this is a learn, and yeah, yeah, this is a pretty basic learn list. Although I think Unearth, again, not stock, is pretty nice. Because I mean, you know, if it's obviously if it's dead, you can just cycle it. So yeah, Unearth is pretty sweet against like a bunch of removal spells. So that's good. And the nothing weird about the sideboard that I see. I mean, Rector of course can get Allurin, which is pretty nice. So there you go. Yeah, but definitely pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff here. All right, now we got a pretty spicy one. This is a sort of a more mid-range sort of stompy deck. Um, I don't think the Windswept Teeth are very good here. Not really sure why those were being played. Just like to play four more forests, like there's no reason to take damage. Like the shuffle effects don't matter. Um, so yeah, those should just be forests. But other than that, I think the deck's pretty sweet. I mean, anytime I can cast Might of Oaks is awesome. So you can't go wrong there. Um, Obviously, there's a lot of mana denial, so Winter Orb, Tangle Wire, and the Singleton Plowlander. So that's really cool. And of course, in the sideboard, you got Wasteland. So this is pretty neat. I really like this deck. This is definitely, I think there's a lot of room for brewing for these sort of mid-range mono green kind of things. Obviously, things like, well, Call of the Herd is very sweet. Stuff like Elephant Guide is really powerful. Like when you can get it to resolve, of course, you know. But yeah, really cool stuff. A lot of good stuff here. Wasteland and Sideboard for even more LD, Emerald Charm, more Call of the Herd, Bottle Gnomes, Bottle Gnomes and two Ravenous Bailoff is pretty brutal against the mono red decks, that's for sure. Really craps on them. And of course, even Call of the Herd, that's good stuff. So yeah, really sweet stuff here. Really sweet stuff here. Okay, yeah, it's just goblins. Just goblins. Again, I think it's really, you want 23 to 24, right, typically, lands. So yeah, I would definitely play another mountain here. Um, but again, the main deck's pretty standard for the most part. Yeah, I'd probably just cut a naturalize for another mountain. And then, like, I guess if you want, you can board in another naturalize or something, but um, yeah, a lot of some unusual stuff in the sideboard. Navinral's Disc, kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure how that would play out in a deck with 35 creatures, but that's interesting. Same thing with Null Rod. Null Rod's not unusual, right? Null Rod's obviously very good against the well, any of the artifact-based decks. Dodecapod, that one's a little strange, but again, very good against any deck that's playing a bunch of discard, you know. So Dodecapod's pretty cool there. I like that. I love Dodecapod, and it's got a sweet name, really unique ability. Although there's a couple other cards that do it the same thing, like Sand Golem and so on. But yeah, pretty sweet stuff. Pretty sweet stuff. Okay, now we got this super sweet lands deck plus oath deck. Very cool. I'm gonna have to do a thing on this deck because this one's really sweet. I mean, you got just the Oath stuff with, blessing and stuff into something big like Phantom Neshoba. And of course, to facilitate that, you have things like Funeral Pyre, which is very sweet. This, of course, well, obviously it's graveyard hate, but the big part is it puts a 1/1 spirit token into play on your opponent's side, thereby triggering the Oath. Very strong. And of course, when that's not very good or whatnot, you have the whole lands sort of package. So you have all the wastelands and the ports and the factories and the core havens, dust bowls. So all the mana denial and the man lands and core haven doing a okay Maze of Ith impression. And then Mox Diamond, of course, is a ramp card, and then Sphere of Resistance as a sort of prison-esque thing too, right, to go along with the wastes and ports and stuff. Sylvan Libraries for drawing. Seal of Cleansing is for Seal of Cleansing stuff. Some removal, like, really cool stuff, really cool stuff. This deck looks really, really good. Definitely the best iteration of Oath I've seen so far. A lot of the other Oath decks I played have been like kind of cute, kind of nice, but like really fucking dirtily, and really not that impressive. But this one looks quite good. I've seen people talk about it also on the Discord. Yeah, this deck is pretty awesome, pretty awesome. So I think this is really where you want to be if you're oathing things up. I don't think any of the other ones were very good. I mean, at least competitively, I should say. Like, I mean, obviously you can play whatever you want, but like from a competitive standpoint, I think this one has got like the best sort of fallback plan. Like they don't really, the Oath package is pretty lightweight, so to speak, right? It doesn't take up a lot of slots. And all the land stuff is very good. It gives you, you do the man land thing, right? The Treetop Village factory thing. So if they don't play creatures, you can just beat them down that way and disrupt their mana. I mean, just a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. I mean, you get to play Waste, Port, and Dust Bowl. I mean, come on. That's awesome. And Sphere of Resistance. Oh boy. So yeah, a lot of good stuff here. I think this deck is very, very good. At least just eyeballing it, looks really focused, really powerful, does a lot of good stuff, doesn't have anything funky in it, really looks like it kicks some ass. So yeah, this is something to keep your eye on. And again, this is just, it just shows the power of brewing in this format, really sweet shit, really sweet shit. Okay, now we have another Elf list, except this one also has Tangle Wire. I don't think the last one had Tangle Wire off the top of my head. Although this one also does have Well Wisher too. And of course this one does have the Sharpshooter in the sideboard. Other than that, nothing too weird. Same old stuff. Real good, sweet stuff. I like it a lot. I like Tangle Wire. I like Survival. Gives the deck something to do, a different angle, a huge mana sink, right, for Priest of Titania. Did I ever say how much I love Tanglewire? That's a sweet card, man. And of course, our eventual winner is another solution deck. So I'm not actually sure if this one's that much different. I think this is very, very similar to the other one we already talked about. And of course, I love Dwarven Blast Miner. That card's so sweet. Obviously very good in the mirror or pseudo mirror, like with Landstill. Man, what a sweet card. Really good stuff here. So, yeah, I love it. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. That's the whole thing. We went through it pretty quickly, don't want to rehash too much stuff, but yeah, really cool stuff, really sweet decks. So yeah, definitely feeling the firepower now, feeling great. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for looking at all these sweet decks with me, and have a nice day.